distract us. So we'll just have to pay attention to see it. But it does have visibility rise in November. And curiously, the device is actually more strongly associated with a multiple million-year-old presence, if you will, or I don't want to say, space alien per se, but some kind of pre-modern human civilization than it is with modern space aliens. And we've actually had some growth in the supporting sets around that seem to indicate that the how do I want to say this? The device itself appears to be in the range of affecting emotions and this kind of thing as an amplification sort of a device. I don't know if it's what kind of amplification, how directly it's controlled or any of that, but the fact that these two individuals are fleeing has to do with the need for the powers that be to get this thing back. The details seem to suggest that, as I say, that somewhere around the equinox we'll see the denouement of this whole little story, and it may be somewhat misleading if the mainstream media propaganda is still effective. But then we should see a story that says perhaps, so-and-so was arrested for stealing something from a museum. And then on the other side of it, in the independent media, we may find out that so-and-so, same individual, has people rallying around him because blah, 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 he said that he liberated, a space alien device. In other words, we may get disclosure at that level. Very much like the situation affecting poor Gary McKinnon.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting whole situation there with him as well, isn't it?
Yes. He obviously found something that has them very upset, and that what he's hinted that he has seen would indicate, it's so outlandish that you would think that they would just kind of like ignore it and hope that we would all forget about it. So the fact that they're pursuing him so diligently and so putting in so much effort to get him over here makes me wonder really what he saw and if he's aware of what he saw.
Well,
relative to their fear.
Right, and again, I don't know if he would be totally aware of what he saw. He did see enough to where they're obviously not very comfortable with what it was that he did see. But again, when you're glimpsing at something for, in those kind of types of files or what have you, for the first time, you'd be hard pressed to really make sense out of it if it's taken out of context as well. So,
correct. Yeah.
Interesting. It's just interesting how they it's almost like I feel like that they're making an example of him. You don't mess around with our files. But that's the whole point. We've talked about this before. You've been on my show, and all this knowledge and all of these things of the powers that I prefer to call them the powers that were, that have kept hidden from us. It's just a matter of time before some of those people come forward, which is another thing that I wanted to talk to you about, which was. Because again, this is all about in this October, November, December, I think, time frame. The whistleblowers that you have spoken about. If you could, let's bring those into the mix now, and where that kind of sets in to all of this.
That's actually that it does come up in the fall, and it's supported again by the whole dollar death meme, and so it may happen a lot more rapidly than we'd initially figured. The dollar death meme comes into it because as the dollar tanks, pressures are put on the federal government. They can't pay certain subcontractors, and we think it'll be a subcontractor as opposed to a federal employees directly initially. And so these people are less inclined to keep secrets secret. And we actually have this fellow Andrew Basiago or something. Basiago.
I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Basiago, I think.
Yeah, like the Asiago cheese. But in any event,
Basiago. Yeah.
Yeah, he fills a certain percentage of the linguistics, and his paper that he's presented with the references is really solid. So I can't say about the rest of his story about the being involved with the CIA and all of that business, but I can say that the language that's out there relative to his story to his discovery, the paper that he wrote, and the images that he has offered, check out 100% so far. There's no duplicity involved. His personal stories about him, all the language checks out. It's all structured well. It all fits within a SCED analysis. So he does meet the criteria, and if I'm correct, there should be some further support that comes out in November that would be likely to propel him into this pretty much planetary personality. If that's the case, he'll be the first in a wave of such that will bring out, again, more pushing towards disclosure. But, again, that'll also be occurring against this larger background, and so we'll have to sort of pay attention. I don't know how much the powers that be are going to push that meme, though. They may attempt to actually push the whole disclosure meme in a serious way over the course of several months, just as a distraction to the rest of the stuff that's going on.
Well, and I kind of figured this whole moon thing that just went on, that moon bombing, that attention was drawn to that when it wasn't supposed to be. I mean, I think there was something else going on, and I don't know what that is. That's just a personal feeling that I got, because, you know, even the president went on and directed all the young people to watch TV so they could watch this event. I'm like, I don't know, something is.
You didn't pass the smell test.
It doesn't. You're absolutely right. I just say it stinks. It really does. It smells bad. So, something transpired or was supposed to transpire or did transpire. I don't know, but there's something that was not right about the whole thing. The whole thing was wrong. It wasn't right. No matter what happened or didn't happen, it was just the whole idea behind that. And
well, a lot of that will change in terms of their ability to hide information. So we'll find out about this over the course of the next year, I'm sure. And again, it's an issue of money. It takes a ton of money to maintain the secrecy level in our government. And without that money constantly going in, the secrets start coming out really rapidly. And I think we'll all be shocked about the volume of secrets and how fast they'll start revealing themselves over the course of 2010.
I find that rather interesting, and
I can't wait personally. I mean,
I can't either. There's some people that aren't going to be able to handle it, but I myself am kind of excited for it. Just a personal thing. And the other side of that is that there's a lot of people that have been speaking out that kind of have been in the background, and they're starting to come forward. And these are not people that were necessarily working for the government. It's just people that knew a lot of different things. And I just get a real strong impression that there is going to be people that we wouldn't even expect to come forward that not necessarily are being paid off. So I think once the ball really starts hitting the road there, as you would say, with the way the whistleblowers are going to come out, because if their money stops, and it's like all of a sudden everybody realizes that I've been loyal to people that could care less whether or not I'm here or not. It was just that I just did their dirty work for them. There's going to be a lot of waking up and a lot of realizations on many different levels.
Well, there'll be another component of that too, and that is that once the money stops, the ability to be threatening stops as well, because these same people will realize that those people that were the strong-arm enforcement side of things are going to be hard-pressed to maintain things with this decreased level of funding. I mean, really hard-pressed. So all kinds of crud's going to come out. Unfortunately, the overall background against which all of this is going to happen is going to be the greatest depression ever, because it's going to be planetary. The level of the impact is going to be greater than the collapse of the Roman Empire, and it'll be accelerated against a background of increasing Earth changes and strange things in our solar system. So all of it's going to hit us really hard over the course of this next year. In fact, it is hitting us. It just depends on where you happen to be at the moment as to what you're actually experiencing.
Exactly. But, again, there's signs everywhere. If you read, the news and you get involved in all of that, you can see we're right in the middle of all these changes. We're right in the middle of all of it. It's already begun. So it's just a question of how fast it goes forward. I think this might be a good place, if you don't mind, Cliff, for us to take this little short break, so everybody can get up real quick and stretch your legs, so that we can bring you back and continue on this conversation. This is fabulous. So we're going to go ahead, guys, and take a short break. When we come back, we're going to have more of Cliff High right here on Journeys with Rebecca. Do not go away. Everyone, welcome back, and we are here with Clif High. And gosh, Clif, we are on the last part of the show. It always goes so fast when you're here. It just time just like flies by.
Same here. It just seems to evaporate. You know, it's 3 sips of coffee and we're done. And it's well, what happened there? You know. Well, why don't we just jump into questions and see how many of those we can get through?
Well, we have a few of them here. Let me get to them real quick. Let's see. We answered a couple of them. Actually, I was kind of asking them as we went along. This one is regarding the yin-yang. Has there been an imbalance which is now coming into balance, male or female energy emerging? And this one was for you, Clif.
That's actually really interesting because of the impact on planetary fertility, too. So, indeed, there appears to be a